afternoon, everyone. It's almost noon, and you are at the Business and Leaders Luncheon with the Gresham Area Chamber of Gresham Area Chamber of Commerce. Today's been one of those days. I'm Lynn Snodgrass, the CEO of the Gresham Area Chamber of Commerce. And again, I'd like to thank all of you for attending. We also want to thank our sponsors for representing their companies, but also sponsoring this event. Columbia Bank, thank you for your sponsorship. And the Boeing Company, we appreciate you. They're one of the newer members. And Portland General Electric is also a presenting sponsor. We have stakeholder sponsors, that's the Gresham Barlow School District. We appreciate their and everything they're doing to get kids safe and in our school buildings. And MetroEast Community Media, they are our media sponsor. What amazing partners we have with all of them. We are recording the webinar today. It will be available through the cable channels for MetroEast Community Media and also through the Chamber website. So if you missed something, you want to hear it again, or you want to tell a friend about how great this was, that's where you could go. Before I start our topic, I wanted to share with you, I'm sorry that we were late getting started, but back in my student-teacher days, I remember a horrible experience that I had. I was going to show a film. And the film came in this great big reels, and you had to thread the reel all the way through the projector, and then you get it started, and you had to make sure that the little holes were all lined up, and you push the start button, but nothing came, and then you realized that the bulb was out, and you had to figure out where in the heck in the building the bulb was. Well, that's kind of what we had a little bit earlier today, trying to get this started. We brought back memories. You would think with our technology now that would be beyond those days, but thank you for waiting, and we have a great presentation for you. Today's topic title is Tap into the Power of Women in Business. Those are powerful words. We have long passed the days of Father Knows Best, but even so, we have yet to totally understand and to utilize the power women bring to the table, especially in business. The Women's Business Center at Mercy Corps has a mission statement, and I'd like to read it. The mission statement says that they work to elevate women entrepreneurs by educating, financing, and counseling them through the process of starting and growing a business. They believe in the power of women to create a vibrant and equitable regional economy in which everyone can participate to their greatest potential. And every year, about 1,000 entrepreneurs walk through the doors of Mercy Corps to take their first steps of launching a small business. 1,000 is a lot. That's so impressive. Today, we're excited to have Women in Business Center and Educational Manager, Bobbie Stewart, be our speaker today. I want to give you a little bit of background of who the speaker is. She made the statement in her biography, the pursuit of happiness is doing what you love, even when it puts the spotlight on someone else. Bobbie Stewart is a serial entrepreneur whose passion is engaging with and building startups. Bobbie has chosen creating, developing, and launching small businesses as her career, teaching and mentoring as her passion. She started her adventure as an entrepreneur at the age of 16. That wasn't too long ago based on how you look, Bobbie. Bobbie believes that entrepreneurs possess strength and tenacity that are the building blocks of leaders. Bobbie graduated from Concordia University with a Bachelor of Business Administration and minors in entrepreneurial and small business operations focusing on finance. So we're really pleased to have and happy to have Bobbie with us today. So Bobbie, welcome to the Business and Leaders Luncheon. I'd like to start it off with you, and maybe you'd like to introduce who you brought with you from Mercy Corps. So again, Bobbie, the table is yours.
Thank you, Lynn, so much for the beautiful introduction. I appreciate it. And also thank you for the invitation to allow us to speak to your leaders today. And my name, of course, is Bobbie Stewart. I'm the Women's Business Center and Education Manager. And today we have Miriam, who is our education coordinator. And she has been on our team, not for very long, but she's amazing. And she is really moving our program forward at a really fast pace. And then we also have Ozzy, who's new to our team as well. He's our community navigator. And he is right now, Miriam's located in Arizona, Ozzy's in Texas, and someday they're going to move to Portland and love it. And Lynn is trying to get Miriam to move to Gresham, but we'll talk about that. And then last but definitely not least, John Michael. John Michael's been our community liaison for, gosh, he's on his second round this time, and he's been helping us with our outreach. We have been able to connect with a lot of different organizations because of all the hard work that John Michael has done for us, and because he's been doing what he's been doing for a very long time. So thank you and welcome. Yay. And I didn't mean to speak for you guys, but if you guys want to say anything else to the audience, please do so. Any takers?
Happy to be here. Thank you for the introduction, Bobbie.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to actually start with our video about the Women's Business Center. That's what we're going to use for our further introduction into the Women's Business Center. So if we can get that video started, that'd be great. Mercy Corps Northwest proudly serves as home to the Oregon's only women's business center in partnership with the Small Business Administration. The mission of our center is to elevate women entrepreneurs by offering education, financing, and counseling to support the growth of small businesses. Oregon's Women's Business Center believes in the power of women to create a vibrant and equitable local economy. Our center is open to women, gender nonconforming individuals, and men. Our center offers classes that take new entrepreneurs through the process of starting and growing a business. We offer a business foundations curriculum for those in the early stages and seminars on business topics like branding, financing, and operations. We provide one-on-one counseling to entrepreneurs on everything from record keeping to legal support. We also offer special events throughout the year, including women's speed mentoring and small business pitch competitions that give entrepreneurs an opportunity to learn from one another, elevate small business, and build community. And our annual holiday market showcases the talented makers from all over the Pacific Northwest while encouraging buyers to shop local. Mercy Corps Northwest has supported entrepreneurs across the Pacific Northwest with business financing and education for the past 20 years. In Oregon and Washington, we offer a loan program that serves underfunded businesses. We also offer small business grant programs that support low-income entrepreneurs, including those recovering from economic shock like COVID. Each year, hundreds of local entrepreneurs come through our doors, growing their own network and building a tight-knit community of passionate and creative small business owners. We invite you to explore the many programs we offer to both startups and existing businesses in person and online. Yay, thanks. You like that? Thanks, Lynn. All right, so we can now get started with the PowerPoint, and what the PowerPoint will do is it will detail out a lot of our programming, and then after that we'll go into a discussion about future programming that we want to offer through Mercy Corps Women's Business Center. So Angela, can we have that PowerPoint, please?
Give me 1 second.
Okay. And if you do have questions, you can throw them in the chat as well. If something pops in your mind, and we will answer those as we get to them. Perfect, right, about there, perfect. So we're starting with where we are. So in 1998, we opened our Portland office, and we expanded from there to Seattle. We don't have an actual office in Seattle, but we do offer grant services and loans and access to capital in Seattle. We also now have a Walla Walla office. It is mostly Spanish-based education, and we're expanding the curriculum to also English-based cohorts. And then our Southwest Washington office is our newest office. So we are really happy that we can offer services right across the Columbia River. And next slide, please. one more slide, our programs. So here at Mercy Corps Northwest, our Portland office, our services are offered to low income, and we provide education and grants, and for disadvantaged entrepreneurs. Sorry, I need to slow down. And then our location is in Multnomah County, Washington County, Oregon, and Southwest Washington. So we really do cover all of Oregon, but we concentrate on these areas, and we're trying to expand as much as possible. Our mission is to reach rural communities and underserved communities as well. And then our language primary for the Portland office is English, Spanish, Arabic, and Russian. We offer education in all of those languages, and we also try to produce our material in the languages as well. So entrepreneurs have a much better chance of understanding the material that they're reading and increasing their technical skill and their knowledge while they're training. And so our idea candidates that we are now trying to focus on is low income, POC, single parents, women, non-binary startups, and existing businesses. We know we need to do a lot more work in those areas, especially for existing businesses who have suffered through the pandemic. Can I have the next slide, please? So back one more. So the Walla Walla office is a very specific location, and they have a micro business assistance program. Their program is more of a cohort style. So they build education around accessing the IDA program, which is our individual development account where you save $1,000 and we match you with $5,000 or whatever the donor determines. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. Next slide, please. And then our Seattle office, like I said, they mostly do loans and grants and financing. They're in the Puget Sound region of Washington State and King County region. We have an amazing leader there that works in that program named Robin. She's pretty cool. And then next slide, please. And these slides will be available later. So if you want to reach out to these departments, you can through the email address on them. So our Southern Washington office, our newest one, they provide program around COVID relief grants and small business loans, business education, master your credit, and Business Foundations One as well. And they are also developing a lot of new programming, which we are calling our prerequisites, and we'll share that with you as well. So I'm really excited about this new location and how many entrepreneurs that will be able to access and help with this in this area. And they also offer their education with English and Spanish. And when we say we offer education with Spanish, that means the instructor will be a fluent Spanish speaker in any area that we offer Spanish in, or a fluent Arabic speaker or a fluent Russian speaker. Next slide, please. So our America Vista program is a statewide initiative. Mercy Corps Northwest, we are one of the offices for the American Vista program. We partner with the community-based organizations to develop and implement capacity building projects. We recruit, place, and train AmeriCorps members in their year of service. Our office has had 2 in a row. We're going to have our 3rd year of a Vista, and our Vistas usually come with very specialized skills. A lot of times they're very well educated with master's degrees. The program is phenomenal, and it really helps support a young individual get into a job and gain skills. And trust me, they come with a great skill set and they're ready to work. So the program, when our organization looks for a Vista, it's really competitive. So if you know any young individuals that are interested in the America Vista program or any organizations that need a Vista, you can just reach out to the email and they can get you started. Okay. Next slide, please. So our business services, we offer classes, advising, and seminars. Those are the main things that we offer. Right now, we are trying to start offering technical skill set courses that will help improve upon the entrepreneur's skill set in their business. So next slide, please. And also our business financing. We have grants, our individual development account, the IDA, we'll break that down a little bit, and then our loans and credit counseling. Our credit counseling is part of the Master Your Credit program that we offer as well. So we know that because of the pandemic, a lot of individuals have been adversely affected through their credit rating, or just not having revenue to pay all of the bills associated with running a business. So we are here to help with that, to help you identify what those areas are and get you back up and running and working on your credit. Next slide, please. And then, thank you. The long-term mentoring program. So we also work with a few organizations because we don't have a lot of staff. So we really tap into our subject matter experts. Our Small Business Development Center is one of our partnerships through the SBA. We also have Micro Mentors. Micro Mentors is a global organization where you can go in and get advising for a specific area, and you sign up into their program. And if you have a very specific need, they can find someone for you. They may not be local. They may be a global individual. They can come from anywhere across the US or sometimes the UK, other places like that, but they will be an expert in their subject. And then of course we have SCORE, which is the retired individuals who have been in industries for a number of years ready to help. Next slide, please. And so the Women's Business Center, which is who we represent, is our program, provides business classes, business advising, seminars, orientation, market vending, and income-based scholarships. So I will break each one of those down a little bit. So our business classes are always running. You can find them on our events page at mercycorpsnw.org, and then go to classes and events, and you will find all the events that are running, and you can sign up there. You can also sign up for legal help. Those are very popular, and just keep going back and refreshing. We'll be adding more and more subject matter experts throughout the year. And then our business advising, every single course that we put on, our instructors can do one-on-one general business advising if you ask them for that in addition. So we just wanted to extend that as a courtesy to our clients who may need additional help. And when they're going through a program, if there's anything that you really need deep diving help with, our instructors are there to help you. They are subject matter experts in general business, and that's what they're there for. Our orientation, we hold our orientation a couple times a month, and our next one will be tomorrow night, and I will actually be the one hosting the orientation, and that will give you exactly what you're seeing here, a rundown about what we have to offer. In addition to our orientation, we also have a funding Friday every other Friday. So if you're interested on different types of funding and things like that are going on through the federal government or local, Funding Friday is a perfect place. So we hold a regular seminar biweekly for called Funding Friday. And then our market vending is, we have shifted our holiday market to an online market for the first time this past year. We will continue to have an online marketplace. That means that we can have more open days for the market, and it is safer for individuals right now due to COVID. And we will also be able to open our market in additional events during the year. So we're going to start planning to open our market during other holidays and stuff because it's already built out. If you are interested in vending in an online marketplace, then let us know. We will be pumping out the advertisements as soon as we're ready. It'll start early November. Just remember, so get signed up early and get into the marketplace. And there's plenty of assistance on getting on board. We've got that piece down, and our advertising for the market reaches at least 100,000 plus individuals. So, and then our income-based scholarships, we don't always have grant funding to cover the cost of classes, but if you have a financial need for a scholarship, then you need to let us know, and then we can give you a discount for the course. If you are a person who really doesn't have any financial income, then you can have a private discussion with our education coordinator, and then she can also help you with another type of scholarship as well. So when we have grant funding, we can offer free courses and give scholarships, and we like to do that more than anything else. So please check with us to see if we have anything available before signing up, and you'll get a scholarship code that you can use for your course before you register. And it's a much more affordable way if you have trouble affording the full cost of a course. All right, and next slide, please. So again, our foundations course is 6 weeks long. It's 3 hours course, and it's $225 scholarships available. And then we have a business plan workshop. And these two courses, you need to have taken one or the other to be able to apply for the IDA program that we have. And so we suggest that you sign up as early as possible and don't wait to get this course done, because during the IDA process, you will have to complete a business plan. And you're more likely to be awarded an IDA if you have taken a business course from another organization that can qualify, or taken one of our business courses. So we do allow other business courses from other organizations. And then we have Rebuilding Your Foundation. This is the curriculum that we developed for businesses affected by COVID. And it actually goes, talks about your mental capacity. Like, your first day will really be checking in about how you're doing and how you're feeling emotionally about your business, to help get you back on track, because we know that everyone is struggling and it's taken a really huge emotional toll. And sometimes you need to have that discussion before you can actually start learning and engaging in the material. And you will find out, I sat through the first pilot of this, and I wanted to join the discussion so bad. It was so good. I was like, wait, I have so much to contribute, but the course wasn't about me. And that's how great it was. And then this course is our first course that we've rolled out on our new learning management system. So a lot of the testing and material is online in what we call our RISE, which is our new learning management system, and that you can engage with this online. If you need a workbook to work through this, we can develop a workbook. We're going to develop a workbook after this first pilot, which actually ends today. The last class is today. And we can also ship you a workbook for your courses, if that is the best way for you to learn. So we've decided that engagement isn't just always online. That's not always the best way. So we have a written copy, we'll have online testing, and then we have live Zoom exchange through the classes. So we want to make sure that every student gets what they need out of a course when they're learning through Mercy Corps Northwest. And this course is, like I said, it has completed it. It's completing its first pilot today. So we've waited a long time to launch this. We're really proud of Rebuilding Your Foundation. And if you feel like this is a course you need, right now it's running for free. So we actually had to do an application session to vet the best possible businesses for this, because it's for established businesses, it's not for startups. So we do a vetting process. And like I said, the reason why there's a price tag on there, because post-COVID, it will cost money, but while we have the grant to cover it, it is free. Okay. Next slide, please. So again, once more, we have education seminars and advising. We do one-on-ones right now and I'll be just very transparent, because of the pandemic, we have fewer subject matter experts, so we're always looking for new ones. We are changing our process of vetting these subject matter experts before we put them in front of our clients. We want to be very careful in making sure that that subject matter expert is the best fit for Mercy Corps or Gresham Chamber clients, or whoever's coming to work with them. If you sign up for a session, it's just $25 most of the time for a workshop, like a legal session. You'll sit with a business attorney. You'll have 15 minutes to ask whatever questions you can and get real technical answers. They do not tell you whether or not you should do something. Their job is to inform you of all of your options. Okay, so when you're sitting in front of a professional, that's the information you'll get. All right, next slide, please. So Mercy Corps Northwest Oregon's Women's Business Center Education Program. So Mercy Corps Northwest serves as home of Oregon's Women's Business Center in Portland, Oregon. Through our classes, seminars, and consulting by industry experts, we help you improve your skills and give you the support you need to successfully start and grow your small business. If you are looking for us, there is the email address to get to our events page. If you have questions, please use our training email. It's the best way to get answers the fastest rather than using personal emails, because that training email goes to the right individual who needs to answer those questions. So that's what it's there for. So like I said, you'll get a copy of the presentation there, and Miriam put that training email in there. Thank you, Miriam. And if you have questions, please use that email so we can answer them as quickly as possible. All right, next slide. All right, so small business grants and IDAs. So the whole premise is to train, apply, plan, save, and buy. Next slide, please. If you have never done an IDA before, there's quite a few different types. Right now, we only offer the education IDA at this time. So our program provides a savings match with 5-to-1 ratio. So that means you save for like 13 months, $1,000. And at the end of your savings plan, we match it with $5,000. So right now we only have IDAs in the state of Oregon. We will be having them in the state of Washington soon. We just have to align with a donor in Washington. The IDAs are really state specific. They don't cross state lines. So you have to be located here. And then languages included in training programs: English, Arabic, Spanish, Russian, and Swahili. The IDA candidates for the IDA are low income, BIPOC, immigrants, refugees, undocumented, people with disabilities, homeless, and incarcerated or formerly incarcerated. The reason why we target these individuals is because a lot of times they have the hardest time accessing any other type of capital because there are so many barriers. So we try to make sure there's an even amount spread across the board. That doesn't mean they're the only individuals we target. That just means we try to make sure that we are working to include as many underserved of populations as possible. All right, next slide, please. The IDA Match Savings Grant. So on the right side, the median household income, that's the most updated information. So if you're a household of 1, you need to make less than that. A household of 2, less than that. If I say anything incorrect, Ozzy, please jump in and correct me. And like it states here that you save $1,000 and you get a $5,000 match to that. The education that qualifies for the IDA program is Business Foundations 1, Rebuilding Your Foundation or Business Plan workshop class. You will need to do 2 financial seminars, 1 counseling session, and complete a business plan over the course of the 13 months. So you have plenty of time, but when you come in, it's easier to make it through if you've already completed a business course, because that's one thing they'll be looking for, and that your need for the IDA, you've really stated what your need is for that IDA. Okay, and then your financial requirements, your net worth has to be less than $20,000. That's excluding your primary home and vehicle. So if you have more than 1 vehicle, I think it only excludes the first vehicle. And if you have more than 1 home, it just a primary home that you live in. All right, next slide, please. So the IDA process is train, ensure you meet eligibility requirements, complete education prerequisites, master your credit, or Business Foundations 1, or Rebuilding Your Foundation. And then you can apply, fill out the application. The application sessions go really, really quick. They're usually a few hours, not days, because we get so many applicants and we only have so many IDAs. And this last round, I think they added 10 or 20 additional spaces. I don't remember exactly how many, because we hadn't run an IDA program for a while, so we made sure that we had additional funds, so we accepted additional applicants or award additional applications. So, and then your last year's tax returns, verification of 2 months of income, a copy of your ID, and then your residence and business in the same state. And there's a $50 processing fee, I believe, once you're awarded, okay, or you're accepted, then you pay that $50 processing fee. All right, next slide, please. And then step 2 is that's when you start saving over the 13th month or 2-year period, whichever you can afford. And then you build and submit your business plan. During your planning and savings period, you will also need to complete one of the following: your Dev Northwest Financial Foundations and your FDIC Money Smart. So that's an additional financial education that you'll have to complete for the IDA program. And then this is the fun part. After all requirements are met, you will have an additional $6,000 for your business. All right, so that is to buy equipment or, those big ticket items to help grow your business. So it's a really amazing program. It's probably like the carrot. That's what I call it. It's the carrot that everybody wants, because it's not a loan. It is really based on what that business is doing and the business owner and what their needs are. So it's a different assessment to get to the IDA process. So next slide, please. And then funding and loans and credits. And Mercy Corps Northwest loans fill the gap that conventional financing leaves behind. So you're going to inquire, meet, apply, and grow. Next slide, please. So the micro loan program services, our program provides term loans for up to $50,000 to purchase equipment, vehicles, inventory, and working capital for your business. They are available in Oregon and in Washington. And if you, languages that we include for training for these programs: English, Spanish, and some Arabic. That means you can get assistance over the phone or through email or how you need it in those languages. And then our IDA client has no credit history, and others who are not eligible for business loans at a bank. We can serve both startups and existing businesses, BIPOC and LGBTQ+ priority populations we want to serve. Those have been the hardest hit and the hardest to access capital. So everyone is welcome. Our microloans are funded through the SBA. It's an SBA program. They really support a lot of small businesses, and we are the resource for the client to get those loans and to get through the loan process. So we are trying to really break down barriers when it comes to lending for small businesses and getting them the capital they need to grow their business. All right, next slide, please. Loans and credit. What do you need to know? Our loans are used for supporting small businesses, repairing credit, and more. Inquire and meet. First, submit a loan inquiry online. That's very important, to go to the loan page and submit the inquiry, just like the IDA. So that way we have your information and you can be updated throughout the process of your loan process. And then you will be contacted by a loan officer to discuss your funding needs. And then the credit building, if you're not sure if a loan is right for you or you need to repair your credit history, our credit program may be right for you. Okay, and then we offer counseling and incubator loans that build your ability to secure and manage adequate financing. And those loans the incubator loans are like credit building loans for your business and for yourself. So next slide, please. And I think those are up to $1,000. All right. What you need to know, apply. Once you've figured out which loan options is best for you, submit your application. So the incubator loan, there you go, 1,000 to 2,500, and the startup business is up to 20,000, and existing businesses can get loans for up to $50,000. And then repayment, 6 months to 5 years. And the interest rate starts at about 8%, and and the loan fee is about 2%. So I would inquire about the interest rate once you've been contacted to see where it's at. And then requirements before you apply, double check that you meet the requirements. And then you have to be a resident of Oregon or Washington, and your credit history current on existing payments, no active bankruptcy judgments or unpaid collections. Okay. Next slide, please. All right, so getting to yes, your background, your credit history is very important. Credit, are you current and trending in the right direction? And your financials, do you have a second source of income? So these are all the things that you have to think about, and you'll be asked during this process. And do you have business financials and projections? And have you demonstrated commitment via personal investment in your business? And will you use the loan to launch or grow your business? Next slide, please. All right, so Mercy Corps Northwest is committed to listening, learning, and taking action. That's what we are really here for. We want to know what you need as far as education as an entrepreneur, what you need to help grow your business, as far as financing or education for your infrastructure of your business. So our survey there's only about 8 questions on it. They're super easy. And we'll get to that survey in just a second. And Angela, can you advance the slide? I think the last one is, yep, thank you. And that is the presentation. Okay.
Oh, Bobbie, that was amazing. Thank you.
Thank you,
I'm
Lynn.
sure there's questions. And if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat box. But I have some questions because I know more now than I did about the organization. So I'm just going to start rattling some of them off. You talked about your ideal client, what the ideal client is, but who's your typical client? You have a goal, you have a projection, and everybody's welcome. But who's your typical client? What age range? Can somebody my age start again anew? You know, what does it look like? Is educated or not? Can you kind of give me an idea of your typical client?
Yes. So we're kind of all over the spectrum, but mostly the Women's Business Center, 70% of our clients are women-led businesses. And the business owners come in a variety of ages and a variety of backgrounds, industries, education. We have people who are professionals in their fields, and they come to learn about starting a business. We have people who've never had a business before and just have an idea. And, you know, it could be something as like a cleaning business. They're here for the same thing. You need that foundational learning before you launch a business. So it doesn't matter where you come from or what your background is. We all come to the same space to learn and share so we can really launch a business and make sure that your idea is viable before moving forward. Yes, that's very important, is to make sure that business idea will make money and it's not just going to be a hobby or a huge expense, because you have to realize that your business is going to cost you money before you make money. So you have to think about how long that business is going to cost money and do those projections and making sure you can afford it. Because a lot of times entrepreneurs have to continue working when they first launch their business, and you might be working a year or two into that business, start at another job. You know, so yeah, but yeah, 70%, we know 70% of our businesses are run by women or women-led.
Yeah, well, that would make sense, natural. But I was curious because you also, your ideal client in some aspects were folks that have been in prison or incarcerated and then are doing their best to do something different with their life. Yes. So moms that now they're the empty nesters, now they want to do something with that time. Do they come flooding to you? Those kinds of things. So
I find out sometimes the empty nesters they're the ones that have been sitting, chomping on the bits, waiting for something to do that's just been a hobby all this time. And now they have the time they're no longer managing an entire family, so they have time to manage a business. And
Yeah.
we have a program called our Life Program for people who come out of incarceration. And we're going to be ramping that program up very soon. And it's been very successful. We have an instructor who was formerly incarcerated. She's probably one of our most popular instructors. So we really believe in this program, and it's super needed. So when you come out of incarceration, how powerful is it to start your own business? And so it's like you're looking for employment, but you can end up being your own employer.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's incentive inside the prison and out too, to
Yes.
become self-sufficient, and whatever that looks like, and a business would be good. So I love that. I also really, really loved in your rebuilding your foundation, the three side by side. You're starting that new program.
Mhm.
I absolutely love the fact that the very first thing on that list was emotional capacity.
Yeah.
I think under COVID, we totally underestimate the emotional burdens that we are all feeling. And the
Yes.
fact that you put that as number one in that rebuilding program says a lot about who you are, not just you, Bobbie, but as the program unloads. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. So are you seeing those kinds of needs? Are you seeing in your mentoring that was a gap, or are you just assuming that emotional capacity is an issue?
Well, because that program was written by an entrepreneur, we know exactly what it feels like emotionally, because there's so much fear and risk involved in your business. And now during a pandemic, you're not just fearing your business, you're fearing survival. And, like I need to have a place to live. I need food to eat. I have to pay bills. But if your business isn't bringing in revenue, that is so heavy on you emotionally. So first, let's talk about what that's like so we can unpack it and really face it and deal with it. Even when I first started being a business advisor like a decade ago, sometimes half of my meeting would just be talking, what I call talking people off a ledge, to get them emotionally stable to start focusing back on their business because of that fear and that risk around becoming an entrepreneur. Because that's why I'm like, it takes a lot to go through the process of being an entrepreneur month after month, year after year, and until your business is in a stable place. And then as soon as it's stable, you have to okay, now I have to grow it. So you go from one emotion to the next emotion. So unpacking those emotions and being able to talk about it and deal with it, and being in a network of people who are sharing the same types of things with you is really helpful. The first discussion, by the end of the discussion, everyone was smiling, and because they were almost relieved that they could just let it go in a place where it was familiar with everyone on the screen. And, so you can go home to your husband or wife or whoever, your partner, and they may not understand because they're not in the trenches with you every single step. But here in this network of people, they really get it. They're experiencing it. You can share with them, and you can process and let go of a lot of that emotion around it.
That's it's a wonderful picture you painted. There's so many components to that emotional capacity. You talked about fear, and fear of survival is definitely there, but there's also fear of failure. And
Yes.
Somebody that's an entrepreneur, they don't want to fail. It's okay to have speed bumps, but they don't want to fail.
Mm-hmm.
There's the failure, excuse me, there's the failure aspect, but also my business is who I am. It's my identity. And so if your business were to fail for whatever reason, or not succeed, then that's part of your identity of who you are. So there's so many components.
Mm-hmm.
And then adding COVID, something that's outside of your control.
Yes.
You can make a bad business decision, but this was not our decision. It came, and it was here. So again, thank you for that, for the rebuilding your foundation program and listing that as number one. Very smart of you, but also recognizing the issues. I have a couple of other questions. You talked about mentoring. You talked about startups. That's your passion. Get people started. Jump on that excitement, that passion, that interest, show them how to do it. But you also talked about mentoring for a longer periods of time, and the IDAs can help with that in some cases. So how long do you mentor? Do you mentor 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? Can somebody that's been a startup through you or at a small business at 10 years, can they come back and use your help? What do you consider mentoring and the long range of the mentoring year goal?
So for us, mentoring, we have not, I'm going to be honest, we have not done the best with mentoring long term because we just don't have enough staff to support a lot of that. So we use our partnerships to accomplish that. So like the SBDC, they do business advising for free. The micro mentors, they do business advising for free. SCORE does it for free. And so what we've decided to do is we just now built those components into our contracts with our instructors and stuff. So when people need it, we have it. But if it's long-term, we have to use a partner to resource for those long-term individuals. And like the micro mentor program, there's a lot that you can get out of that program. And if you aren't the best fit with a mentor, you can always get another mentor. And so you have options. And that's what I like about that program is that they do give you options and they do try to make sure you have a really, really good fit. Moving forward, what we're trying to really do is find the right subject matter experts, because we want, if you want to a mentoring session or a counseling session, we want to make sure that you can ask the deep diving questions and you have an expert to answer them, and who really understands and knows and has been in the industry and can help you move in the right direction or answer those critical questions that you have. So it's the difference between I have a bookkeeper and I have a CFO. So how much is that bookkeeper going to know compared to that CFO who's been in a corporation and who's looked at a big picture, compared to a bookkeeper who can really help you manage that day-to-day process. So, it's just like, who do you ask the questions to? Let's find the expert for the bigger deep diving questions, and then we have the general support to help you through those daily functions and stuff like that.
So Bobbie, how you answered that question is exactly why Mercy Corps, the Women's Business Center, is going to be successful, and it's because you're not trying to be all things to everyone. Right. You know what you know what you can do. You build capacity around that. And those people that need something else, you have now partners and resources that you can, you're not turning them away, you're turning them in a direction to get them the information. So hats off to you. That's great. I have another kind of practical question. It may feel awkward, but I'm going to ask it anyway. So I'm an entrepreneur. I'm full of passion. I come to you and you give me all kinds of help and I appreciate it. And then 3 years from now, I go bankrupt. That idea didn't work. Mm-hmm. Okay, so 5 years from now, I have a new idea and I can't wait to do it. And it's going to be, do I get to come back to you? I know that there's certain programs that because the bankruptcy is over, so I can go into the loan thing. Mm-hmm. But how do you focus one-on-one with somebody that it didn't work out, now I want to try it again, or, whatever?
Well, you're almost talking about my scenario. Seriously, Lynn, I had a business that didn't work out and I closed it right before the pandemic. And I didn't consider that a failure. I considered it a very smart strategical move. It's like I went through my biggest season and I made a lot less money. So I didn't have enough money to carry me through another season. So it was, and trust me, the business was about my passion and what I love, and it represented me in every single way. And it was super hard to give up. But I was like, it wasn't smart to have all the risk and everyone else have all the return. So I had to move past that business and close it and go on. But now that, we're working on a new business idea, we still need resources. We still need education because it's a different idea. So a lot of times people like, oh, I took your class 5 or 6 years ago, and they want to come back and take the class again, or they just need some really fine-tuned information. So it's like, where do you want to go? I had someone email me going, hey, my CPA told me if I would have been licensed like this, I would have saved $10,000 on my taxes. Yeah. Do you have a CPA for me to talk to? I was like, no, I would like you to talk to our legal help. So that person can tell you the steps that you need and what it actually will, work and get you to where you want to go. So legally, that's what I would recommend for you, and not just a CPA advising you saying, hey, if you would have done this, but what does that look like for your business? And what are the steps that you need to do to relicense your business? And what is that going to cost? So that's where I would send people. That's the kind of advice I give to people.
So we've got about 2 more minutes left. And again, your answer taps into the power of women in business. Making tough decisions is a powerful place to be. And that, I'm sure, was a tough decision for a longer period of time than just, wake up one morning and say, oh, well, I need to move on. It was, there was a lengthy process that you went through. So my last 2 questions. How long has the Women Business Center been established here in the Portland area? And why are you interested in Gresham? I mean, why did you reach out to East County, specifically to Gresham? Last 2 questions, and then you can do a close.
Okay. Before I answer the question, Miriam or Angela, if you can put the survey in the chat for everyone, that would be perfect. So the Women's Business Center established in 1998. We've been open, I don't know the exact date, but Mercy Court's been delivering business education for 20 years. The Business Center has been here since 1998. And then the reason why that we tapped into Gresham area is because we were one of those organizations that just said, hey, we're going to hold classes here downtown, and if you want them, you come to us. And that wasn't successful for everyone. That wasn't a way to do outreach. That wasn't a way to deliver education to people who may need a babysitter or catch a bus, or they don't get off work till 5. And if they have to catch a bus all the way downtown and the class starts at 5:30, they're never going to make it on time. So our mission is now to go to where the client is and stop expecting clients to show up, because when they show up, they all show up in the same ethnicity. They're very much alike. And so we're not tapping into underserved communities. We have really done a good job of tapping into, medium income individuals, but we haven't done any outreach in rural areas. We haven't done outreach in East County, it's like in Southwest Washington. We hadn't done it. And it's time to do more and do better. And so we have great new positions like Ozzy's as a community navigator. Like if you have events and you want Mercy Corps there to support, Ozzy can show up for you, so we're really proud that we can finally say that. And if you have a language specific community, especially a Spanish speaking one, and guess what? Ozzy can still show up for you. And, he's a native Spanish speaker. So we're even prouder that we can actually say that. So we're trying to make sure that we are doing what we need in the way the community needs it. We're engaging with the community the way the community wants to be engaged with. It's not about what we produce, it's about the client and what the client needs. Right. And so that's the only way we're going to be really successful moving forward, if we are just eliminating all the barriers and we're actually doing outreach in the areas that they really need the additional business resources. So we want to be there. We want to show up. We want to show up for your events. We want to be able to support you however we can. When we have grants and stuff, man, we want to make sure that we get them into business owners' hands that really need it. And the only way we can do that is by building these partnerships and going out into communities. We can't expect to sit back and wait for people to come to us. So
Well, they're not going to wait once the word gets out about how cool you are, and what an amazing program this is under your guidance, but also under Miriam and Ozzy. I mean, everybody, John Michael, your team has been incredible.
Thank you.
They're strong in their foundation, so I compliment you.
Thank
but
you.
I want to go back to the title of today's topic, and it's Tap into the Power of Women in Business. So if you're a woman and you want to be in business, tap into the power. Yes, there's an ideal clientele, but together we raise the boat up. So again, thank you very much. Angela and Miriam, were you able to get that survey online?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I just put it in the chat.
Yes, yeah. Okay. So I'm going to wrap today's meeting up, even though we had that movie reel issue to begin with, and we're a little bit late getting started. This was an amazing business and leaders luncheon. Thank you, MetroEast Community Media, for recording this and for putting it up on cable for rebroadcast. You can find it on our website. I also want to thank Columbia Bank. I want to thank Columbia Bank for helping us get our PPP. We're one of the latest, the most recent, because we are a 501c6. C6s couldn't apply for those kinds of financing until the most recent funding, and Columbia Bank jumped right on and helped us through that. So thank you, Columbia Bank.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Portland General Electric, that we get to have power, that this computer actually works. So we appreciate that. And thank you to Boeing. I've flown on 737s recently, so thanks to Boeing very much for the safety and for being a strong community member and a sponsor. Gresham Barlow School District, we're going to miss Dr. Catrice Pereira when she leaves, but we are so looking forward to the next chapter in our school district's life. So I want to encourage you to check our newsletter or go on our website to see who our speaker is going to be in June at the Business and Leaders Luncheon. Bobbie, thank you. I appreciate the beginning of us friendship. I so respect John Michael, Miriam, Ozzy. Thank you so much for joining us today. And with that, Business and Leaders Luncheon is closed. Bye-bye.